Hey, great Friday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville. It is Friday, so thank God it's Friday. It has been a roller coaster of a week in many aspects, and this week officially ends today. One of the things that I did mention out there, and let individuals know, was that we were going to calm down in regards to the weekend shows. We're going to play them by ear, but more than anything, if something sporadically came to be that we needed to attend to, then we would do that. But as of right now, we probably will be taking the weekends off. Lupita, buenas noches, ¿cómo estamos? Joe, how's it going? Joe, good evening. Diana, God bless you. Jana, good to see you. And tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in the morning, there will not probably will not be a morning show. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Tonight we do have Dr. Saavedra. Doctor, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing tonight? How are you, Erasmo?
Doing good, doing good. It's been I know that it's always a busy night for a busy day for you all. Y'all are still having to do a lot of work, and it's been
Yes.
interesting for us as well. Well, let's go in very quickly. Dr. Saavedra, one of the first things that I got asked when I did let individuals know that you were going to be on tonight is, uh, are you already set up in your new place here on Alton Glore?
It's not Alton Glory. That's number one. So for all of you that knew me at Two Clinic, I'm not on Alton Glory any longer. Where I will be is on Ruben Torres, like down the road from the mall, right where the Gucci HEB is. For all of you that know the HEB Plus on Paredes line and Ruben Torres, just a little past that, True Health will be there. We are finishing. We're almost there. It always delays in COVID, so I am waiting with bated breath. We are right at the cusp of it. We got like all of these approvals. We're waiting for our occupancy letter, but we're like right there. So don't delay, people. We are excited. We actually are pre-registering people. So if you want to go to truehealth.clinic, that is TRU, no E, dot health, truehealth.clinic, that will, you can get pre-registered and start signing up and get all that fun stuff. So for all of you, I have actually seen a few people already from the show. Erasmo, I'll be happy to tell you. Lovely people, might I add. Our beautiful Brownsville people are absolutely stunning. I love taking care of my Brownsville people. All of you are amazing. So really excited to be back in Brownsville. Very excited to be starting this new adventure.
It's by the HEB, the Gucci HEB on it's on 802. Is that correct, Doctor?
802 and yes, it's right there at the cross, right behind where the Chick-fil-A is in the Wildflower Plaza Center.
Awesome.
So yes, a lot of excitement.
It's on that side of Paredes Line Road. All right, good. I know exactly
Little
where.
tiny bit past it.
Coolness. I vote for you, Erasmo. I'm sorry, we no, you did not fail me at all against Samantha. Thank you so much, you and everyone else that voted, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Did not fail. Let me and before we go into the medical stuff, let me say something, guys. Uh, it was a week of celebration, and and I know that sounds kind of weird, but it is a week of celebration. And I'll start off with uh, Marisa Leal is going to be our next board member, and I am very, very proud of her. I love Marisa. Marisa is going to do a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. She cares about our community. She cares about our staff. She cares about our students. She is very well invested in the district, very well invested in our community. So Marisa Leal is going to be amazing. So it's a celebration, guys. It's a victory for our community, and that's the way that I want to see it, guys. I want to focus on the victories that we've had this week. again, and I spoke with Dr. Saavedra, before coming on, and I've spoken with some of y'all that have stopped by. Guys, let me tell you guys that I it's not the first time that I have lost a race. So no, guys, one of the things that goes through an individual's mind when you lose a race is like, what could I've done better? And I appreciate the sentiment, Samantha, but you start to feel, have I failed my community? Have I failed the individuals that helped out, that donated, that picked up cookies, that you helped us pick up signs? Those are the sentiments that are more concerning to the candidate. But no, in no way did you as a community fail me. And again, guys, it's just a lot of different factors. There's some factors that I still uh, question in my head. But guys, we have to celebrate our victories because our enemies are already taking care of celebrating our defeat. So don't let's focus on the victories. We also had the victory of finding Sylvia Atkinson guilty of what she has committed. And let me tell you guys, it's only a small part of the many, many hurts she has caused our community. And I'm very, very proud to have been an active part in what happened on Tuesday in regards to Sylvia Atkinson. I'm very, 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 very proud. Or Wednesday. No me acuerdo. I'm very, very proud that people are now starting to open their eyes in regards to a lot of other individuals who are going to start to, feel the brunt force of what happened on Tuesday. Other individuals who will also, had their hands in the same cookie jar as Sylvia Atkinson, with Sylvia Atkinson, who are going to, will soon be hearing about in regards to more indictments coming. So again, guys, it's not over. So we have to focus on the victories of this week, and there are many, guys. There are many victories of this week. We had the opportunity to become closer to a lot of the individuals out there who are actually helping out, and who also, as the became a part of this campaign. A lot of you all were involved in making a lot of the graphics, a lot of the memes, a lot of the artwork. And guys, how can we repay that? Y'all were the ones that made our videos for us, our little commercials. And again, guys, I mean, really, I've never seen the community come so close together and fight together for what's right. So again, we continue to pray for everyone at the district. We continue to pray for our teachers, our staff, our students. We continue to pray for those that got elected. Even my opponent, guys, we continue to pray for them. They are now in a position where they're going to be making decisions for all of us. So, prayers for all of them. May God grant them wisdom. May they do what's right. And despite the low expectation in regards to doing what's right, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. We have not much choice, and I'm not saying that just to say it because I want to get in their good graces. I don't want to get in their good graces. I don't want to get in the good graces of anyone who is a politico. I mean, it doesn't serve our community well. So again, let's celebrate our victories. We have a lot of victories, Samantha, and thank you so much, Samantha, for everything you do. Let's go back to the comments, and then we'll start with asking Dr. Saavedra a lot of questions. Good evening, Virginia. Michelle, are you accepting private insurance, Dr. Saavedra?
Yes, we are. We're on most major insurances. Yay, including United, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, many Medicaid, including Superior, Ambiter. There's many. We're on all of them, and if we aren't, you tell us where, and we'll try to get there if we can.
Awesome. Good job. Good evening, Erasmo, Dr. Saavedra. Congrats. Yeah, amazing girl. Amazing girl. I love Marisa since high school, and that was just a couple years back ago. Okay, so now I'm wondering what they're building by the new IHOP. But congrats to the new place. 3-minute drive for me. Hey, David, that's awesome.
Hey, excitement. We'll be glad to see you, Mr. David. We'll see you soon.
He's awesome. I cannot believe Russia, Marisa won, and Minerva lost. Um, it's that's the way it is. So good. You're going to make me cry. No, Samantha, don't cry. I love you too, Samantha. And hey, man, we keep on fighting, Samantha. There's other battles. The war's not over. We lost a couple battles here and there, but we keep on fighting, girl. The cookies. We love you, brother. I love you too, Pablo. Run for president. Maybe. You're right. Let's focus on the positives and keep moving forward. Even though it does sting still. It does sting. But guys, there's a bright future out there. We have, again, a lot of friends out there, a lot of individuals. Your volume might be kind of weird, Dr. Teresa. Your volume, your volume is going, making an echo.
I don't know how to change that.
Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, that sounds better. Good evening, Erasmo. Maybe. Let's keep moving forward. Our community now sees that going on because of you. Great. I just wish Carlos and Frankie had continued fighting and not gone into hiding. Missed them. Let's say Frankie's on vacation. He decided to go, to go on to Vegas, and he is in Vegas. Do I know if Frankie's going to want to continue to be out here? I'm sure he is. We'll find out. In regards to Carlos, believe it or not, Carlos has a job. So Carlos will be coming on and sharing information with us as well. But again, guys, it's always an open door policy. I don't think we've seen the last of Carlos Elizondo and Frankie Olivo. Hey, and worst case scenario, you're still stuck with me. Good evening, Lucy. No way, Brownsville did. We can tell they bought the votes for New Blood and Garcia, and they let go of Philip. And I think halfway into it, they let go of Peña. Again, I want to. There's a part of me that wants to believe those because we know the system here. It's crazy. I want to believe that there's a tinge of corruption in regards to the numbers, the way they came in. But again, we can't prove something like that. And we live to fight another day. It's not over, guys. I mean, look, I'm still handsome and totally not fat. I'm still very, very young. There's going to be other races, guys. I promise you that. Hello, Al. How's it going, Ivan? That's right. Erasmo, you brought the community together with the Cookie Revolution. Preach. Your campaign created unity with our community. Just with that, all was worth it. 100%. Good evening, Erasmo, Dr. Saavedra. Dora. We need like 20 Erasmo Castros to help take out the trash. Brownsville is so dirty, it's not even funny. Everardo, there can be only one. I know what you mean. Erasmo is the champion. He is a good friend. Always will be a good friend. Brianna, good evening. Good evening to the both of you. Thank you, Aurora. God bless you. An earthquake has struck BSD now. Come the aftershocks, the tsunami adjusted will eventually finish most of them off. Hopefully, yes. Guys, before we continue, again, my prayers go out to Aurora de la Garza's family and friends. Aurora de la Garza has passed away this evening. My sincere condolences to the family. I have a very close relationship with Aurora de la Garza's granddaughter. She is a very good friend of mine. I love you and know that I'm praying for the whole family. Aurora de la Garza and her husband have been very, very kind to Erasmo Castro. And again, heartfelt condolences to everyone out there that has felt the loss. Otra las curos y quema no quema, así quema. Gotta make a dull moment a happy moment. Preach, brother. Hoping for a good change in our school board. No, it's not going to happen. We can pray for them, but it's not going to happen. And I'm sorry to say that. It's not going to happen, guys, unless we continue to supervise and monitor everything that they do. Everything. I'm sorry, but there is no way that the individuals that have been elected are going to do a great, great job unless we continue to monitor and challenge them every step of the way. Because unfortunately for us, the head has been taken off, but the two remaining heads that stayed there on the board, they're not going to lead the district in the right path. They're already asking for a lot of individuals to go back onto campus. It's crazy. Échale ganas, Erasmo. There's a next time. There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true. Olivo, Frankie, we love you too, brother. Nah, está feo. Buenas noches. Once a hero, always a hero. Let's keep the momentum going forward and improving our community. Preach, Jessica. Hello, Jessica. Doctor. I think they stepped down on purpose because of the case. It was a silent way to step away. No. So what's next for you, Erasmo? I'm curious. Next for me is I am going to be going on a quick little vacation soon. Uh, as I said I would, but won't be probably till around Thanksgiving. Who paid for the Vegas trip? Sylvia? I hope not. No, she needs all the money she can get. Is there going to be a runoff? No runoffs. 20 Erasmo, that's a lot. How about 20 Castros? Hey, David Castro, runoff for Peña. No, none. There's no runoff in BIZ. What's your number and office hours? I've been putting off seeing a doctor for a long time. Uh, Val,
Sorry about that. I forgot. For the number is area code 956-413-6162. Of course, regular office hours, but we are going to be available tomorrow. If anybody wants to make an appointment, they can call and make one available for you. The office hours, we will be probably having office hours 9 to 5, 9 to 6. We'll stay late for some people that, for those who we see fit. Maybe have some Saturday office hours as well in the beginning. Maybe we'll keep it depending on what the need is. So
again, Dr. Saavedra?
I'm sorry?
What's the phone number again?
The phone number again is area code 956-413-6162.
You glitched out. One more time, I'm sorry. 956?
Oh, it's a 413-6162.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks for asking.
And there's the number 956-413-6162.
There we go.
Awesome. So at the meeting of the board on the 4th, they have a bunch of legal fees to be accepted, paid off, and need to be voted on. Yes. And they voted for everything. It's your tax dollars. So no chance of change of BSD then? No. No. Erasmo equals mayor? Maybe. I've always said that I want to run for mayor. It's just that it depends on if Trey's going to run again. How can we be outsiders, keep them in check? That's through me.
That's right. Yay.
Time to scrutinize the new board members and hold them accountable for their actions. Transparency is expected, but they're not going to. We have to demand transparency. We have to force it out of them. Erasmo, does this mean that legal fees are going to be continue to be paid off by the district? Yes, it does. And Drew is going to get indicted, and you are going to pay for it. It's that simple, guys. Margie Martinez watching. Hello, Tony. Hola, saludos. Congratulations to Marisa Leal again. Congratulations to your lover. Where are we on the COVID? Good. What say the numbers are going to up, but the numbers they post are low?
So, great question, John. Where we're at on COVID, if no one knew it, Texas is now number 1 in the United States for COVID cases. We're over 1 million in just the state of Texas. I believe we're in the 15,000 or 15 million, sorry, for the United States of those infected. In Texas alone, I believe right now El Paso is blowing up. It's over 1,000 cases a day. And then followed by Dallas County, and then I believe Harris County is also high on that list, which is including, Harris is number 1. It's not as bad right now as Dallas is. Dallas just had over 1,200 that got positive, and then followed by Tarrant County. But El Paso, even though it's lower on the list of total cases, it's actually raising, and it's elevated more than Harris County and Dallas County right now. So thankfully, Cameron County and Hidalgo County are lower on that list, but we have to be careful because we could easily jump and move. So, of course, the typical, wash your hands, wear your masks, try to stay out of groups, and it's going to get harder as the holiday season comes around and we start to get with family and really feel the pinch of doing our traditions. I really implore everybody to try to be wise about the time you're spending with loved ones in the holiday and get unique in the way that you spend those times with them. Do it in smaller groups if you can, not larger groups, and maybe do some small, turkey time little by little across the way with each other, but not at the same time. So maybe that'll be, a quaint Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll see. But yeah, that's where Texas is at. As far as the country in general, I believe California is only second to Texas in cases, followed by Florida. So all of the largest states have the largest amounts of cases. That seems to be typical, as well as U.S. is over. I'm sorry, 10 million, not 15, 10 million, followed by India with 8.5, and then Brazil with about 5.5, a little over 5.5 million, and then Russia in a very distant fourth place. So we are still going strong. If you can believe it, Erasmo, there are almost 50 million cases of coronavirus worldwide, believe it or not.
Let me ask you, is there a reason why El Paso has blown up with 1,000 positives a day?
I'm not really sure about that. I can't really say I understand why. I don't have any theories currently. I just know that I listened to the news this week, and there was some interesting things about North and South Dakota and how they weren't wearing masks at all, and so they were getting a ton of cases where they really weren't on the spectrum before, that they really didn't touch them, and currently now it is. Maybe El Paso didn't get quite so many cases, and maybe it was more protected before, and now maybe not so much. I know that's what's happening nationally, perhaps in El Paso before, but I do believe El Paso hasn't been completely spared. I don't know if these are new cases or reinfected cases. That would be something to note, because they don't really talk about reinfections much right now. That's always on the thought process, because they do mention that it is possible, but they don't. I don't think they've been counting, as far as I know, on the reinfections. But maybe the health department can enlighten us.
Well, let me say that I always tend to think that it has to do something with being on the border, and our culture. Our culture tends to be very hey, vamos a juntarnos, let's have a little party here and there, a little bit of the pachangas. One of the things that, we really never followed the guidelines as strictly as we should have in regards to, keeping individuals out of bars and out of restaurants in regards to certain percentages. It's never happened. Here in Brownsville, the restaurants have been blowing up. Most of them have not adhered to the guidelines. So it's just gente cabezona. So I'm thinking that's one of the reasons why the numbers in El Paso. And again, it's just something that I think that we need to be very careful with here in Brownsville, Texas, because like El Paso, we have a lot of similarities. Uh,
Yes, I agree with you on the fact that there are a lot of border towns that are probably higher in their numbers because of the fact that we don't do things in the same way. We tend to break the rules at the border towns. We get too friendly or too lovable and loving on each other. But yes, with the border towns, we try to be a little bit loose and relaxed about the rules. And I have noticed that it is very hard. I just don't know that we have a lot of ways for there to be oversight on those rules that they've made. So who's enforcing those rules? I don't see anybody enforcing them. So if they don't enforce them, then they're going to feel like, well, no one's watching, and businesses do need to make money. We are in somewhat of a recession because of this pandemic. So people are really trying to grasp for straws. So to be honest with you, I can understand why they would want to just try to survive. But I mean, in order to do it for the public health, they do need to think about a bigger and greater good. But it's hard right now in these times. I mean, I can understand as a business person how hard it is to say, oh, let's only do 25%.
that's crazy. The new president of the United States, do you think he'll help schools stay with the distance learning? No. A lot of the times, a lot of these individuals, they make promises that they know automatically that they cannot keep. That it ultimately falls on the states to decide, and because we are in a red state, TEA and the governor has ultimately decided that the schools are going to open. Guys, they're going to open. We're still being given the option after November 30th. That's why they sent it again another survey today to give parents the option of either keeping them at home or sending them on to school. Not much is going to change, I don't think. Not even with President Biden, if he manages to pull it off at the court level, because it's going to the courts. So if Biden does become President Biden, then we'll see. But again, you have to take the money from somewhere. So what's going to happen? They're going to He's going to say, okay, we're going to shut down the government again. Is that what Biden's going to do? That's what he's promised to do. Well, then what's going to happen to the economy? What's going to happen to small business? You just is there a medium point? Just don't know. I think that a lot of what has been going on right now in regards to the handling of coronavirus by the president of the United current president, it's just going to continue, guys. One of the things that really amazes me, guys, is how passionate a lot of people get here locally in Brownsville about the presidential election. We had a parade right now. I think they had a Biden parade or something. Guys, I wish they had a parade every single time BISD had an election. I wish they had a parade every single time the city commission had an election. Guys, those races directly impact the people of Brownsville directly. And yes, we could say that I'm not saying that the presidential election, the governor's election aren't important. They are important, but nothing is more important than our local elections. And those are the ones that our community needs to be making a whole mess load of hoopla on. Unfortunately, they're not. And that's why they continue to get screwed by all these corrupt politicians. Politicians are politicians, bro. Forget this crap about Republicans and Democrats. They all suck. They all suck. They're all politicians. There isn't a good party. They're all bad for the community. All of them. What you have to do is always pick the lesser of two evils, or three evils in some cases. Dr. Saavedra, are you in internal medicine?
I am a family medicine physician and a neuromuscular medicine specialist. So, yes, I can do adjustments and I do primary care.
Do you take people with self-neglected severe health problems?
Yes, Mr. Richard, I can take anybody and everybody, and hopefully we can make you well again.
Jasmine, what is the deal with the school board meeting on the 4th? Was Atkinson present? No. Dr. Atkinson was not present. Mr. Garcia is in rehab because of the coronavirus. Coronavirus did hit a school board member. I'm hoping that that softens his stance in regards to coronavirus. Again, wishing the best for Mr. Garcia and for his family and for everyone else. Again, we need transparency, guys. We need transparency. The community needs to know that there is a current board member that is fighting coronavirus, that we have Rose, an AA testing positive and passing out donuts at an elementary school where her buddy got hired, where now all the principals have gone home, but no one has stated anything. There's no transparency in regards to it. Now, they could all say, well, that's private. No, it's not private. Not when you're receiving federal funds, not when you're taking in students, not when you're taking a lot of our chunk of our community to work for you. It's not private, guys. It's something that affects the community as a whole. And ultimately, there's a very, very serious price to pay as a community. Doctor, you are a what kind of doctor?
Family medicine and neuromusculoskeletal medicine. You could just
Got
put something similar to sports medicine for those of you that are confused.
Again, the phone number is there for Dr. Saavedra, Lucy. It is on 802 past Paredes, going south or east, going east. Sorry. I am too.
I don't know.
So, Erasmo, how are they going to handle Breeden Elementary situation now that Longoria came out positive? They're going to try to hide her. That's what they're going to do. Have you heard anything from the district? I mean, this happened yesterday. Have you heard them letting the staff didn't even know, guys? All they knew was all of a sudden all the principals and all the office staff were gone home. Rose Longoria could not be there. She exposed some people at veterans. No word whatsoever. And I know that veterans put out a post. No one here has COVID. They should never have said that because they should know better. There are people at veterans that have tested positive for COVID, and they also know better in regards to they were exposed by the same individuals that came into contact with individuals at Breeden Elementary. It's that simple, guys. Again, no transparency. No transparency. That is why what we do here in the evenings is so very damn important. I say. So the FBI wants to take down the Brown. Ew. Drew Brown, that is, but same, same. Yes. When is the next mayor election? 3 years, 2.5 years. Erasmo, what do you think about transparency at the electoral process? Uh, non-existent. I hate the fact that they're making such a hoopla in regards to the individuals out there. I think it's in Michigan, Minnesota, that are closing up so that nobody can watch the counting of the votes. I don't like that. I hate the little videos going out there and showing individuals that are filling in ballots. It's not a good day for electoral process. Dr. Saavedra, any opinion on the transparency of the electoral process?
It, we're the ones who want to speak about who we want as our president or who we don't want as our president. So if they're not really sharing what the electoral process is and how they go about it, that's not very constitutional. That's really it's just not, it's not a good idea. That really, it just leaves something to be seen, and it just looks like they're hiding something. They need to come forward and make sure that everyone's doing the right thing. Now, the problem is the laws in each state on how you go about doing that are different because it is state by state. There's a federal law and then there's state by state laws. So that makes it a little more complicated. So what is important for one state to do, it's not important for the other state to do. So there is a little bit more complicatedness to it.
It's craziness. Didn't opening schools in El Paso cause their numbers, case numbers, to rise again? I'm not sure. I don't know if they've done continuous testing. Dr. Saavedra, do we know if our testing has gone down? Could that be a reason why our numbers are in their 30s instead of in the hundreds like we had before?
I do believe our testing is starting to go up again. And Dr. Eda Hernandez and the Valley Med Urgent Care, I know that they're starting to see numbers rise in our different locations. I'm sure the other urgent cares and emergency rooms are also seeing numbers as far as testing starting to rise. I don't know that the actual positives are rising that much. They're not zero, so they're there. It just may be because we're not having the children go back to school in mass numbers. They may be right. The El Paso school system, if they went open 100%, there are just going to be higher numbers because of the fact that school is a group function. So it's something that they have to be aware on. I know that they are doing a graduated system in other school systems, like where my home is in Florida, where I'm from. They do have a graduated system where they're doing opposite days and trying to do it in a slower nature, but it's making the process of school go longer because not as much is getting done on the days they're not at school. So it's creating other complications, but we're all just trying to do the best we can.
The superintendent is adamant, Doc, to return teachers the week before Thanksgiving and the students after Thanksgiving. I do not believe it's safe. Your take?
Well, it's getting pretty scary scary because now we're getting into winter time. This is where the flu season starts to hit. So please, everyone, I beg you from every person, think about getting your flu shots this year. If there's nothing else you remember on today's visit, it's because you need to get your flu shots or really think hard about it. They do have egg-free flu shots, not just the flu bot, but they also have the flu cell vax that's also egg-free, always has been egg-free. So for those of you that have increase in allergy, try to get that because that just in itself gets people very sick every year. But we're all very concerned in the medical community about having both flu and coronavirus together. It's a nasty, nasty combo. Coronavirus by itself has been difficult to deal with. Also, flu as well, but the combo together is potentially deadly. So I do know many of my patients are really thinking and taking my advice on considering heavily on getting the flu shots. More people now than ever are really getting their flu shots and many of their other vaccines if they haven't been up to date. So I commend all of those of you who have already done so. And for those of you that haven't, really highly consider that because it's just a very potentially bad season to not be up to date with vaccinations. And for the kids, they should be as well. Moms and dads, if you forgot, look it up, see when their last visit is, go back to your pediatrician, go back to your family medicine doctor, get those kids vaccinated, protect your children because it's not zero for them either. So, but yes, it's a scary time in general. We do need to be careful. Winter season for us in Texas, this is yes, even though it's fall, it's getting towards a winter season. But this is where the cases start rising, and it's not just flu. We also get sinus infections. We get throat infections. Your typical winter bugs start coming in because the fall ones go out with the changes of the weather. So we're going to see more upper respiratory infections, bronchitis as well. And that including coronavirus, again, is not a nice combo. We're most fearful of the flu, but it's not a walk in the park with the other ones either, to be honest with you. So just make sure that you have your family doctor on speed dial when it comes to stuff like that, because it's nice to know there's somebody in your corner that you can go and do a quick consult with when it comes to things like that. And thankfully, not everything is coronavirus. All right. So I just want to remind everybody that if you've got itchy, watery eyes, that's not typically coronavirus. Coronavirus doesn't typically cause weird sneezing. It's usually the lack of taste and smell that's a little bit more thoughtful that it could be only the coronavirus and not some of the other things. So be aware.
Well, we know that for a fact that guys, having all these amount of individuals onto the campus is not a good idea. It's not a good idea, especially because we don't know what this next phase of coronavirus is going to hit. We already have a lot of our students coming out positive, a lot of our athletes who are, out there, playing sports. We have students out there at Los Cuates Middle School in Los Fresnos. I think today or yesterday, one of our cheerleaders at Hannah, tested positive. Tryouts or practice is canceled out. We're going to get that. We had the volleyball team also test positives, and they had to cancel out for 3 weeks. We had football players out there testing positive, coaches testing positive. Guys, we're just going to fall back into what we had experienced. There's not going to be any other recourse but to completely shut everything down again. And I don't know, and it's just not a good place to be. I wanted to be out of this. I wanted to be out of this. And when we started doing these shows, one of the things that we said, the only way that we're going to get out of it any quicker is if we continue to stay away from each other. Continue to stay away from each other as much as humanly possible. Social distance from one another. Use the damn face coverings. Carry around the hand sanitizer. But well, what do I know? Teresa, do you think it's safe to send my kids back since March to ballet and taekwondo classes wearing masks to ease a little of the stay home? Do benefits outweigh the risk of COVID-19 right now?
It depends. It's hard to say let's go back into group contact sports if you're doing a lot of contact. you're doing limited contact, if maybe you're doing more shadow boxing, if you're doing taekwondo, that might be more allowable. But if you're doing heavy contact sports like football, that's gonna be like just guys piled over guys, and it's really hard to say that yes, it's okay when you're basically touching each other a lot, and that can be very very just it causes COVID cases to be much higher. So you have to be careful to send your kids back. I know we're all very sick and tired. We're getting, fatigued about being so vigilant for so long. It's been such a far place away. We're almost 9 months into this pandemic, and we're still not seeing, where the light at the end of the tunnel is coming for everyone. They are, as I talked last time, coming up with vaccinations that they're supposed to be getting out to the healthcare providers this month and next month, and hopefully by summertime to the public at large. So that's exciting. But I would say be careful about how you choose to get your kids involved. I would say trying to do things that get them involved, like artwork, like get them involved in classes for artwork where they have social distancing, things that you can choose that allow them to be outdoors in free airspace versus in enclosed doors if you can. I'm not saying don't get your children involved. What I'm saying is get your children involved wisely. Make sure that you're doing something that's going to keep them safe and not necessarily at home, but out of close contact with each other. Yes, get them outdoors, get them to play, do their typical normal childhood things, but don't do it at the expense of getting them too close to other people and then starting to get them into potential trouble. And for children that have higher medical conditions and more severity, you have to be a little bit more careful. So just be aware and ask your doctor if you're not sure. Really be careful.
100%. So, Doctor, the way to prevent COVID-19 continues to be mask wearing, correct? I'm asking because multiple people refuse to or don't want to wear masks. They turn it into political things, sadly.
Yes, Snoopy, this is really sad, and I see this also. It the mask wearing is probably one of the best ways. I have this is kind of anecdotal. My husband also watches news as well, and kind of gives me some of the news I haven't seen. But he actually said that he read that coronavirus may be somewhat like a snake bite, and the fact that perhaps you get the more you get, the more severe it is. I still have to look into it and see if there's scientific evidence of that. But that mask wearing that we do is going to protect us from that snake bite, so to speak. So the more we wear the mask, the more protection that we have. It may not be 100%, but if you got your own bare skin and that snake bites, you're going to get more of the venom. If you got a little protection on you, you got some clothes on you, you're going to get a little bit less. So it would behoove all of us to wear the mask. And no, there's nothing political about it. This is literally a health concern. This is a pandemic. We're talking about keeping each other healthy. So I don't think there's politics involved in this. I don't think it's a Trump nor a Biden thing. I think this is a health thing.
Yes, Julio, I am also very much in shock. But again, you're doing great, Erasmo. Thank you, Kevin. Love you, ba. His wife was a teacher, so I'm hopeful. We'll see. The Democrats are going to crash the economy and bring back high unemployment and high welfare. That's what they do. Yeah, but they give you a lot of free stuff. Nothing is free. How are they going to handle Biden's citation? Biden's citation with Longoria coming out positive. Deja tú los kids. Are they going to be responsible to pay for the kids' test and other staff's tests? And how far is it going to spread? Well, we know for a fact that the entire cabinet has been sent to get tested. The principals at Breeden have also an office staff who came in close contact. And again, guys, they weren't wearing masks out there. This is the AA, the principals. They were not wearing masks. and they were passing out donuts. Because let me tell you what they do. What they do is when they're going to take a picture, they put on their mask. When they're socializing amongst themselves, you've seen the pictures. There's no social distancing, and they're passing out donuts. Yay! Happy birthday, uh, principals at Breeden. You all just got Rona as a gift. But you know what? I'm not concerned so much, and I hate saying it this way. I'm not concerned so much about those principals and the AA Rose Longoria and the cabinet because they're educated. O sea, they should know better. They just don't care. So they were passing out donuts amongst themselves. That is why Dr. Cuff had to go and take over. Have they informed the staff? No. Have they informed the parents and the students? Absolutely not. And the reason that they don't inform anyone is because they say, well, nobody really came in contact with them except the individuals that ate the damn donuts. And I like donuts. I eat donuts. Saca la expired hand sanitizer from 2010. It was actually 2009. 20,
Oh my God.
2009, Papa. 29, 2011, can't remember. So how are they going to handle Breeden Elementary? We already talked about that one. I already got that one. Erasmo, are you a politician? No. I hate the term politician. Politicians hide, they mask. There's no hiding in Erasmo. I tell it to you like it is. You know, it is what it is. Erasmo, what kind of protection is the BISD a good personal using? Personal using or using fashion mask? So, I do want to say that for any of my nurses out there at BISD, any of my teachers, I still have N95 masks for you. They're free. You can't beat free. If you work for the district, if you're being sent back onto campus, come pick up some damn masks. It's that simple. Erasmo, thank you for your transparency as always. This is where I get all my news from and tell my family members so they can know the truth about BSD Corona or not. Nobody should be passing donuts, not even the good donuts. Dr. Saavedra, there's bad donuts and then there's good donuts. You know the difference?
Yeah, the kind with the filling are really good, and the kind that don't have enough of the frosting are pretty bad.
Bad
They're
donuts.
delicious.
But the ones that have all that gooey stuff inside, yum.
Yummy.
No one at BSD said anything about Sylvia's indictments or verdict. There's no transparency. None. And, it had to, we had individuals out there in public comment making comments in regards to it, but no one. And there should have been an official statement, guys. There should have been an official statement. You have a current, because she's still on the board. You have a current board member who used to be the vice president, who still to this day controls the board, guilty of 8 counts of bribery. And not a statement from the district, from the board. Come on, guys. They couldn't wait to put a statement out on Erasmo because of stupidity. Saavedra, I cannot afford to include my wife and 3 kids into my BISD insurance. Erasmo, what insurance do you recommend? Let me
It,
say,
de-
I'm sorry?
it depends. It depends on how much you make. Um, Ambetter, I hear, is really good on certain ones. For those that are on Medicaid programs, it just depends. I have a good person that I recommend to the patients that come in the office. Shout out to Harmony Insurance Group and Armando out there. He's locally in Brownsville. If you guys haven't seen his website, it's amazing. So definitely go and chat with him. He might be able to direct you at Harmony Insurance Group because they might be able to get you, even if you say you do make too much to choose a certain one, you might be able to choose one that's a little more affordable so you can get your entire family in.
What kind of protection are personnel using that preparing food? Very minimal. They're not being provided with proper PPE. So good luck to everyone that's picking up the food. And look, guys, I know that they're putting up some nice little pictures of the food. I actually had BISD food today. It was horrible. It was horrible. Amazing, Dr. Saavedra. She is amazing.
Thank you.
Private, multiple schools up here in San Antonio release the information of when someone is tested positive at a school. They don't reveal the name, but at least they say when there is Rona. Yeah, you have to let parents choose. You know, look here, guys. Parents need to make informed decisions in regards to the health and well-being of their children. So do teachers, guys. So if you have a school where the principal and all the office staff is tested positive, you have to let parents know, and you have to let teachers and staff know. That way, they can make an informed decision in regards to, are they going to want to send their kids to Breeden Elementary while the principal is acting all irresponsible alongside the AA Rose Longoria, all irresponsible, eating up, eating those delicious donuts. Is that a school that you want to send your kids to? At least give them the choice, guys. Give them the choice. Now, staff members, do staff members want to take extra precaution, knowing that the leadership at the school has been irresponsible? Do they want to take some sick days? Give them a choice. Let them choose. Let the parents choose too. Where's Roman? He's probably buzzed right now. No, Roman is got the Rona. Is the FBI going to give you protection, Erasmo? Watch your back. No, they are not. That's not how it works. Let's have your opinion about socialized medicine.
Mrs. Longoria, my husband is Venezuelan. We do not like socialized medicine right now because socialism in general has destroyed my husband's country. So I don't really believe that it's going to make things better. I'm actually scared if President Biden comes in that he's going to cause a lot of socialism to happen. But we'll see how it goes. We, like Erasmo said about BISD board, and in general, no matter who wins the presidential election or whatever election locally that we have, we do have to pray for those in leadership because it is not an easy job to run a small group of people, much less an entire nation. So just to continue to answer your question, socialized medicine has a lot of implications with it. If you look into Canada takes months to get into a specialist. It's not an easy task. People come down to the United States if they want to get a knee surgery because it's just not easy to get in because they're so backed up and it just takes a long time. Because with socialized medicine, there's a lot of governmental control. So imagine, your long lines at the DVM or I'm sorry, DMV or in another governmental capacity, especially in larger cities like San Antonio, Houston, or Dallas. And imagine that on the medical level, that you had long lines, long waiting just to get in to see a doctor for the day. And that could be socialized medicine. In the past, I've thought, yes, it could be great, but I think it just depends on how socialized it gets. Because if it gets more governmental control, then it tends to be very difficult for people to continue to receive excellent service because they just get more backed up with red tape. So it's complicated.
Yeah, we can't afford to go socialist. We cannot afford a socialized system here in the United States. It would be a disaster. It would be a mess. And look at, we had a taste of socialized medicine. It's called the VA. Didn't ride well. Controlled by the government. A lot of individuals, it took months in order to be seen. A lot of individuals opted to take their life. So, guys, we don't want anything like that. We need what we have, and we need to improve what we have. We don't need to make it worse. Uh, they are cheating. The Democrats, they wanted Trump out for the past 4 years, and they cheated in the election since they couldn't do it any other way. Well, he who cheats the best gets the win, I guess. We do hope that the same people that were coming out on the show before the election continue to come out on the Erasmo show, just like the Saavedra, who is a regular guest and is here tonight. Preach. Can the district force students to attend school face to face? Not yet. It's coming. Saavedra, what's your opinion on so? Oh, we got that one. Erasmo, is there still a Dollar Tree downtown? Uh, I don't think so. There's a Dollar General on Mexico Boulevard. I don't think there's a Dollar Tree. I don't think there's a Dollar Tree. There's a Family Dollar on Ringgold. Hmm,
Yes, there is.
right? Yeah. Do I? I do not think so. My brother got a survey from his high school where he was asked if they was going to return to campus or not. That to me sounds like they're going to be given a choice. So far, yes. The Democrats have cried about Russian interference and cheating in the 26th election, and then Trump says they're cheating now. All of a sudden, the elections are good for the Democrats. Republicans need to band together. Do not spend money at any Democrat-run business. Let them stop. How can you tell which is a Democrat-run business and which is a Republican? It's a good one.
No one knows.
A question for Dr. Saavedra. What is osteopathic manipulative treatment?
That is an awesome question, Marco. Thank you for asking. So, osteopathic manipulative treatment, it's kind of like what you would get at a chiropractic office, but more than that. So, I'm a DO. DO is a doctor of osteopathic medicine, and basically we learn 250 extra hours of anatomy, and get to do manipulative skill techniques. Basically, it's with your hands. You get to adjust people, help them bring their body into a better balance, kind of like yoga that you could do for yourself. Osteopathic manipulative medicine helps bring the body to a better alignment and you just bring back wellness. Sometimes it's something that's subtle that may be going undetected in an x-ray that you said, something just doesn't feel right, or it's very subtle, but it's not that deficient that you need like a major surgery for it, but it is something that's very uncomfortable and that eventually can bring a lot of discomfort and eventually pain if left untreated for a long time. But it's very helpful and it doesn't require medicine. It's very natural. So
No, VIX does not fight Corona.
Vicks Vaporub.
VIX Vaporu. Doctor, after having meniscus surgery, I started getting random gout flare-ups. Post COVID, I developed Guillain-Barré syndrome, and any pain is amplified. What's the best way to reduce knee swelling and severe pain as a result of gout flare-up? Gout flare-up.
All right. So Joe, don't eat a lot of red meat. Gout is worse with red meat.
Oh, like
There, yes, and I'm sure a lot of us Texans like red meat. It tastes delicious, but for certain ones, it's very difficult for the gouty flares. It crystallizes into your joints. It causes a lot of pain and discomfort. And you can take medicine for it, Joe. There's colchicine when you have the acute attacks, and you have allopurinol when you have the long term trying to prevent it. And if you really get bad, you could do a little prednisone to help with that. But those are some of the mainstays. You could just try simple ibuprofen over the counter for small attacks, but there are better medicines for it. But there is a way to do it naturally by just watching your diet and being anti-inflammatory. Things that are pro-inflammatory include sugar, like all sugar. So if you avoid the sugar, you avoid inflammation. Turmeric is a very good anti-inflammatory agent. There are many other things that are anti-inflammatory. There's a large list that you could probably find online. I can't remember all of them, but turmeric's one of the better ones. Garlic, I believe. Ginger is in that category. So I would say try to, use food as a medicine, have a very good, natural, healthy diet, take a nice supplement, and avoid extra excess sugar.
try quinoa. Quinoa is a superfood, high in protein, also anti-inflammatory, also has a lot of other extra stuff. But I've already told Joe about quinoa. He just doesn't listen to me.
Quinoa
Let
is
me.
awesome. Keep,
It is awesome.
yes. Okay. It's half protein and a little bit of pasta. So for those of you that aren't fully sold on it, quinoa is like a half and half. You don't have to go all the way to commit. Okay. So you got a little bit of pasta and a little bit of protein, but a lot of bang for your buck. And it's got, if I'm not mistaken, there's got some omega 3s in there, which are really good for COVID because omega 3s are helpful and anti-inflammatory for COVID. So
Yes.
all of our anti-inflammatories are very good for COVID. So if you don't know the anti-inflammatory list of foods, look it up on the internet. It could be really good for you. Things like that include vitamin D that you could take, vitamin C, quercetin is in that list. Goodness, there's many more. I know I'm missing some, but those are some of the anti-inflammatory supplements that you can take that are very awesome.
Yeah, and let me tell you, quinoa to me, it when I had issues with circulation, my feet would swell. I was borderline diabetic. Let me tell you, quinoa helped my numbers to go down, helped the swelling to go down. I did some research on it. It a superfood, and it tastes delicious. It's amazing. You could make it into anything. I actually am great at making quinoa salads. I make tabbouleh. I also I make quinoa into oatmeal. Like as if instead of the oatmeal, I use quinoa. Let me tell you guys, that is delish. I actually might do that this weekend. I might do a quick live video on how to make some quinoa oatmeal. It's amazing,
Oh,
guys.
wow. Okay. I've never made quinoa and oatmeal. That sounds actually very interesting.
It's amazing, and oh, dog, it's just the health benefits that you obtain from quinoa, superfood is. I have a lot of faith in quinoa. Doctor, what are your thoughts of face shields? Is that an extra layer of protection or a false sense of protection?
I believe the facials, depending on how you use them, can be good or bad. I've seen them worn in a few different ways. So there are face shields that I've seen children wear and sit above the mask. So, it things can fall into that. I like the face shields that actually have the little strip and then you have something below. So it's harder to get something to fall down into it. But I still think you should always wear your mask. It shouldn't just be a face shield and nothing else unless you have a severe pulmonary condition or respiratory condition that really disallows you to wear any type of mask. I do know of people that are asthmatic that are having difficulties wearing these masks, but they tend to stay home if they can because they just don't want to wear any mask at all. So if that you are that type of person that really can't really wear a mask at all and would rather wear a face shield, the face shield could give you some protection, but it's never going to be as good as mask will be. Mask is going to be great. You could do both to get a little added layer though.
Just so everyone knows, what is the proper PPE teachers should be provided with by the district and nurses?
So the proper PPE minimum is should be an N95 mask. If the N95 can't be used because it's only the healthcare providers, the next should be at least some type of surgical mask. If you can get into a surgical mask, if you can't get a surgical, then the next will be a cloth mask of any kind. So those would be the order in which you try to get a mask for anybody if you could, to be honest. And then if you wanted to wear a face shield, you could definitely with any type of close contact. There should be gloves provided if you know that you're going to be in contact with people very close and you might need to be so close. You could do a small gown temporarily if you need to actually be in very close contact with them. So those would be the basics, I would believe. But there's always room for shoe covers if need be in case it gets really messy.
And I wonder where little Eddie got Rona from. Was it the taco stand, the Mota Tacos, or the tacos at the what's that place called? I can't remember. The Lopez hot dogs or the Rosa Goria donuts. I don't know. Hot dogs or donuts. I don't know, but it'd be good to find out. Dr. Saavedra, where's your office? 802 Past Paredes, back there. Call the number 413-6162 for exact address. The only people that want socialism are people that don't want to work for their own. So that means like 90% of Brownsville. Uh, and you made a comment the other day, right now, in regards to, but the parents were called last week to see if they wanted to send their kids to school on the 29th, and the most said yes. Well, yeah, yeah, of course they want to send the kids back. That's not a question. I think 99% of the people want to send their kids back to school. The question is it safe? Can
Correct.
Could the school guarantee their safety? And I'm sorry, John, you want to trust this school administration, these school board members, with the safety of your child? Guys, no. Let me tell you, they don't care. They're irresponsible. Their AAs, their board members are already coming out positive. If they can't protect themselves, look, guys, I'm going to say this very clearly, guys. The reason that they're not being transparent and letting everyone know what's going on is because they're always by themselves most of the time. They're in these little offices with two people, and they got Rona. But they want teachers to go into a classroom with 20, 30 students, and the teachers are going to get Rona. That's why it's concerning. So, does the parents want the kids back at school? Hell yeah! The questions the parents should be asking themselves up at Breeden, at Hannah, at every other school district: is it safe? Can this administration, can this school board guarantee that your child is going to be safe? The answer is no. Tomorrow 11, I messaged you. I haven't seen it. I'll say, oh yes, Dollar Tree is. I got a message as well. 11th and Elizabeth, I think. There's a Dollar Tree downtown. Well, thank you, Lupita. Why want to shove socialism medicine on us, but they keep their platinum plan? Not fair. Yeah. Let's answer these other questions. Yes, there is a Dollar Tree on Elizabeth and 12th and 13th Street. Yes. Thank you, Maggie. Erasmus Maximus. Do you know which positions were filled with those 11 new hires? Actually, I do not know. I don't have the backup. I do know that one of the FNS supervisors was hired. That makes it 12. So where is your office located to register as a new patient? 802? That's Paredes.
802 and Paz Paredes or truehealth.clinic.
Yeah, you could call the number, Maggie, 413-6162, and they'll give you the exact address, and they'll sign you up. Are you going to be our next Todd Brewer?
We are next to Dr. Todd Brewer. He's a very good friend and a neighbor, and he is our landlord because we are renting the space from him. Yes. So he's
Awesome.
right by there.
Dr. Saavedra, what are some home remedies for corona, assuming that your symptoms are not severe enough to go to the clinic or hospital? Any over-the-counter medicines to take?
Actually, believe it or not, Erasmo, there are things that you can take if your symptoms, because there are asymptomatic people. There are people that have no symptoms to the Rona. They just go in for a procedure and they're like, oh, by the way, you're positive. What? I didn't have symptoms. This is how coronavirus spreads. I think I read that there's up to 45 to 50% of people don't realize they have coronavirus. That's a scary, scary number. So the home remedies that you could do, you can take Zyrtec or Flonase over the counter for any congestion you might have when you think it's a sinus infection. You can also take the vitamin C because even though people take vitamin C for flu, it's actually very good and anti-inflammatory for coronavirus. Vitamin D. There is elderberry syrup that also is supposed to be very good for anytime you have like viral infections. I know the people that are very naturalist in the community tend to do elderberry syrup. There are different over the counter brands that are available in most of the major pharmacies that you can get. And then your omega 3s and vitamin Ds typically.
I take 300 milligrams aloe daily for acid control. Took colchicine already and control the pain. It's horrible. What's an immediate remedy until doctor opens tomorrow? I'm in horrible pain.
Ibuprofen, 800 ibuprofen, Joe Stat. And come see me tomorrow. I can give you a shot. I'm sorry. I know it's very painful. The gout is just not friendly at all. It's very painful. They actually get calcifications, Joe. I've seen it when they start getting disfigured because the joints can get calcified on your hands, on your feet, on your elbows. Very, very painful. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I joked around with you, Joe. Sorry,
Ouch.
I was joking out about his like for meat, but sorry about that, Joe. I guess I shouldn't have because you're in pain. Sorry. Turmeric. I think
Yes.
turmeric is amazing.
Turmeric. Yes, it is. It's very good stuff. If you like Indian food, it's in a lot of Indian food. If you don't like it, well, you don't have to eat it. You can just take it in a pill form.
Let me tell you guys, I make some mean curry. I love
Oh, I'm
this.
coming to your house. I love me some curry.
I love curry. I make some mean ass curry. There's videos out there on draining the lungs when you have COVID-19. How reliable is that?
I have not seen that, Snoopy, but I will look into that. I've looked into myself on how you can try to keep yourself breathing well when you have shortness of breath with COVID. They have stuff out with the American Lung Association with helping for breathing for those that are in what's called COPD, and I would think it'd be pertinent to coronavirus times as well. That I've discussed with patients before, but I haven't seen draining the lungs. That one sounds a little bit savvy, something you'd have to do medical wise. There are ways to do it with like a pen that I know that I've been taught as a medical professional. Would I ask someone else to do that that's not a medical professional? Absolutely not, because it is very scary to drain the lungs. Like you kind of have to puncture a lung in order to truly drain them. And you have to know when to do it and when to not do it. So I would, if you ask me, I would say do not do this at home. Please ask a medical professional first, because if you do that on your own, you are doing it at your own risk. And when you puncture a lung, well, it has to reinflate. You kind of need to go to the emergency room to get that reinflation to happen, because they need to put it in a chest tube.
And also, since you're not doing your live shows on the weekend, maybe just do lives on your cooking show at home. Maybe. Uh, guys, I want to take a little bit of time off on the weekends, but maybe I love cooking. I just haven't had the opportunity to do some cooking. I do a mean pot roast. I do Thanksgiving dinner. I do a great stuffing. I think I could actually do some mean ass cooking, guys. Really, I can. I make good potato salad. I don't know. You heard it here, folks. Get your N95 mask with Erasmo. That is the appropriate PPE. Are you listening, board members? Stop with the fashion mask. Yeah, guys, come pick some up. I still got some for y'all. Grítalo, please. Give back the money. Hey,
Hi, yay. Valley Med Urgent Care people.
my daughter will be remote learning. Good. Yeah, and remote learning, you have the option of ultimately, if anything does happen to your family, to your household, you're the one responsible. That's one of the things that I kind of like have tripped out. Like someone was asking, making a funny in regards to where the board member got Rona. Was it from the taco place, the weenie place, or the donut place? But you know what, guys? I would probably be freaking out if I couldn't trace where exactly. Let's say if I would get Rona, where I got it and how I brought it home. I'd be freaking out. And that's what happens when you are not being careful out there. When you are, walking out in public with a lot of individuals not wearing your face covering, when you're not using your hand sanitizer, when you are in large groups of people, then you don't know where you're if you get Rona, you don't know where you got it from, who you got it from. So it's just mind-boggling. At least this way, guys, if you're at home by yourself and if you do get Rona, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I think at this point there's only one likely to get Rona is talking to someone for 15 minutes who has Rona. Still the way to most likely get it. Oh, contact.
Yes, yes, close contact, speaking in close less than 6 feet to someone is still a pretty great way to get coronavirus. That's still like the tried and true, like that close speaking that we like to do because we love to socialize and make connections with other people. So yes.
A question for the doctor. What is the difference between a flu shot versus a quadrivalent flu vaccine? I know there is a flu shot that doesn't have all that junk. Dr. Saavedra? I think you froze. We'll come back to the question, Eric, to see Dr. Saavedra unfreezes. For those parents who can keep their kids at home, please keep them at home 100%. Doctor, do you know any doctor locally that specializes in Turner syndrome? I've always had to go to Houston. And Dr. Saavedra froze. Yermina. If she comes back, I'll let you know. Thank you, Doctor. We'll call your office tomorrow. Awesome. Erasmo, I can't get a hold of Frank Olivo. Tell him to go on all in the Houlet cable number 2, red 7. It's 11 o'clock. I rigged it for. Doctor, didn't I see an office Mocha Chico with your name and Dr. Ed Hernandez? Yes. Cooking show time. Dr. Saavedra uh, has left the building. Forgive me, I didn't mean drain the lungs. I just didn't know how to call it. Was a video nurse who laid in different positions to be able to help herself breathe. Sorry, I freaked everyone. Yeah, it freaked me out a little bit, but love you. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Erasmo, why don't you have Dr. Eder on? Dr. Eder Hernandez has been crazy busy, but he has promised to come on soon enough. I got a couple of questions for you, Doctor.
Yes.
Right.
Can you hear me?
For the doctor, what is the difference between a flu shot versus a quadrivalent flu vaccine? I know that there's a flu shot that doesn't have all that junk.
All right, sorry for the disconnection. So the quadrivalent flu vaccine is what most of the flu vaccinations are. They used to have a trivalent, but now they have a quadrivalent that is 4 different strains versus 3 strains on the trivalent. That means they cover 4 different parts because usually the virologists have a very complicated job to where they're trying to get the most common strains from the prior flu season. So they're trying to get the 4 most popular ones, and they'll name them different names depending on where they come from and where they're coming to in our communities. So they can try to get that majority and cover as much of the virus and how it likes to mutate as they can. So that's how they make it, but it's usually 4 different strains. It doesn't have a lot of junk in it. Really, I know that there's a lot of misconceptions about the flu vaccine causing the flu. Let me just remind everyone the flu vaccine doesn't cause the flu. It causes 2 weeks your need to have immunity from flu due to the flu vaccine. So in those 2 weeks, you still need to wash your hands, do all the typical things you would do. I would not wash your good contact precautions. I would continue to do that regularly. And then, of course, add your flu vaccination on so that there's still all of that there. But I know that some people will get a reaction in their immune system to it that's different. It's usually a much, much less severe version of what they would get versus when they actually have the flu. Now, there are people that get the flu vaccine, but either had exposure to the flu already or got it within those first 2 weeks before they get immunity to the flu. So that is where many people will get that severe reaction that they never want to go back to get the flu vaccine for. But again, the flu vaccine doesn't really cause the flu. It's just how your immune system responds to it.
Good. Doctor, do you know any doctor locally that specializes in Turner syndrome? I've always had to go to Houston.
Ma'am, I do not. I know that you have geneticists. I know Turner syndrome is a genetic issue. They do have local geneticists, but they tend to be pediatric geneticists. I actually have a patient I recently saw, God bless her, I love her, who just found out her daughter has a genetic condition that is autosomal dominant. So she probably passed it down, and we're looking for a geneticist for her. But I think the local geneticist that we have is only pediatric. The next best they mentioned at that office I heard is in Houston, and they did not give me the name of that individual. So I will have to let you know about who that adult is.
How much time is it advised to be speaking with someone in person or in an office type environment?
Hopefully, less than 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's closer towards 5 if you can, but definitely not 15. And of course, the more you socially distance, the better. And of course, wearing your mask, those all help to layer.
Jamie is making potato salad. You're the best stuffing. Yes, I do make good stuffing. Thank you for your answer, Dr. Blessings to you all from San Antonio. The concern now is with people who will refuse to get the vaccine from the coronavirus. Do you think that they will delay our battle against this terrible virus?
I do think there's always going to be people that refuse to get any vaccination. I did used to have quite a few people that would just refuse to get the flu vaccine in general. Every single year, there are going to be people that refuse to get general vaccinations. But I do believe because of the severity of this pandemic, I do believe more people than not are going to give it. And remember, in order to get what's called herd immunity, all you need is 2/3. You don't need everyone. 2/3 is only 66%. That's a little more than half. So we don't need everybody to get it in order to get herd immunity. We just need to get the majority, to be honest with you. So that that would be great if we do get that. If we don't, we are going to have to rally and have people encouraged to get it. I know there's going to be people that are looking onward from all the healthcare professionals to see if we drop like flies from the coronavirus vaccination, but they are very strict on what they allow and don't allow. And I know that they're going to be doing the best they can because remember, these pharmaceutical companies know that the world is watching them. And so they probably are on their P's and Q's trying to make sure that that coronavirus vaccine is amazing because, of course, they want to give the best product they can. They do, of course, want to be able to make a good name for the company they work for. And it's the right thing to do in general. So, don't worry. We are going to find a really good vaccine. We're going to, of course, there's going to have to be some people that are per se guinea pigs. I do know that there have been individuals that have already received the vaccine locally that are in healthcare that have gotten antibodies. So it does work, some of the vaccines. So that's exciting. Just know that they are always working to help us get more info on the coronavirus so that we can get that vaccine as soon as it's humanly possible.
Doctor, any last words or anything else that we need to share with individuals tonight?
I believe there was a very interesting thing about, and I have to Erasmo for bringing it to my attention that I was not aware of earlier. Let me bring it up. There is something really cool called the Binax Now. It's a reliable test that you can get at home. It's a $5 15-minute test that's easy to use that you can use with a mobile app called Navica. And it basically allows you to be able to self-test for coronavirus. So you can have that available to you now. So you don't want to go out and get tested somewhere else, like at a doctor's office or over with an urgent care or at the ER. You can try to get testing from at home. And now it kind of gives you the availability like you would right before you get onto an airplane to kind of use it as like your boarding pass is the way that they say it. So those are things that are out and available that allows for more coronavirus testing. I do not know the efficacy of this, how accurate it is, and it will remain to be seen. They're going to have to test it more, but they do have some home testing out there that seems to be fast and affordable.
And that is something that is going to be introduced through our district. So, I mean, guys, look into it. It sounds Cool. Uh, Dr. Saavedra, do you teach yoga?
I don't, but I've always thought about teaching yoga. Yoga's awesome. It really is. It does help a lot. I take a lot of yoga. I don't teach it.
We'll do this last one and then we'll end it. Doctor, I heard the virus is mutating. Is it possible for the virus to mutate to the point where it becomes deadly upon getting it and shortening the time span of incubation?
Well, anything is possible, Lucy. Anything is possible. Because the virus mutates, it means that it's able to do things it wasn't able to do before. So could it shorten the time span from incubation to infection to potentially severe symptoms and death? Yes, it's potentially there, but um, I don't know how likely that will be given the progress that it's made so far. I don't know how fast it's mutating. I know that the virologists are keeping up with the different strains of the coronavirus to see how that's moving along. I haven't reviewed that in a little while. I think the last time I reviewed it was over the summer on how the mutations were going, so I'd have to review through that again. But I do know that it does mutate. So we do have to be careful because I know that different strains are from different countries and that's how they know where they're coming from and going to. So we just, of course, the less we spread, the one thing I know about contact tracing, this is from Johns Hopkins University, is that 2 days prior to getting symptoms is when we're most infective. So if there is a way that we know, like on the day we start becoming symptomatic, if we stay away on that day and 2 days after from sharing it with our families, and we have one less person that we get in contact with coronavirus, we can actually slow the spread of it. And that's where us being a little socially distant comes into play and how we're doing our part in decreasing coronavirus. So because that 2 days of being asymptomatic carriers is already there, we're spreading it before we know we are. So that's why it's so deadly and why it's so difficult to get a full hold of it. But we can do it. We're getting there. It's coming along. We're just not quite there yet. But I think hopefully by this next summer we will be getting there in mass quantities to that vaccine. And hopefully by this time next year we'll all be sitting around the turkey table, thanking God that we finally got past all of this nightmare that has been happening to us lately. But we'll have done it together, and that is the most important part.
Yes, this nightmare that's 2020, because everything is going wrong in 2020 except Sylvia's trial outcome. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for always, be willing to come on and answer questions. We hope
Yes, of course.
to see you around Brownsville a lot more soon. Maybe
Yes.
lunch or coffee out there close to your office or at your office. And again, thank you so very, very much. Uh, guys,
Yeah.
have a safe weekend. I'm not sure about this weekend. I do want to take the weekend off, but if for sure, if we're not back tomorrow night or Sunday night, we'll be back Monday morning. Guys, please continue to stay safe, social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer. Wash your hands, be good to each other, and please continue to be good to me. God bless.